Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, as you know, the NFL trade deadline is coming up within the next few days at the time of recording this. And what I thought is, as a Browns fan, I want to kind of go through all the names, and I mean every single name that could either be traded to the Browns, maybe traded to the Browns, and then we'll kind of go through all the names of if I'm saying no, they're not going to be a trade candidate for the Browns, where I think they might actually go. And when I say where they might actually go, I mean, like, if I don't think coming to the Browns, I mean, could they just stay where they are, or do I think they could be traded maybe somewhere else? There's a long ass list of names here, so we're going to go ahead and get right into this. So if you're going to enjoy today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. To be exact, we got about 15 names, so let's get into this. Let's start off with some wide receiver additions. As we know, right now, the wide receiver core, it's looking a little sluggish. We have Amari Cooper. Donovan Peoples-Jones is still trying to figure himself out. And it seems like we have some other pieces like David Bell, Marquise Goodwin, Cedric Tillman is supposed to be a big piece, a rookie that we haven't really seen anything of. First name that comes to mind that I kind of thought maybe this could happen, DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is not happy in Tennessee. He signed a 2-year deal there. Everybody knew whenever he signed the deal, he was going there for the money. He was not happy to be there in general. If he was trying to win games, there were so many other teams that were trying to get him, but they were trying to give him like $5 million contracts. He got, I believe, a $16 million contract with Tennessee. When it comes to him coming to the Cleveland Browns, it would work because Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, they play together in Houston. They already have the chemistry. So when it comes to him working on the team, it would work. But he would probably have to take a pay cut because I don't know if the Browns could really afford that $16 million salary, because then you'd have two receivers in Amari Cooper already at $20 million, and then DeAndre Hopkins at $60 million. It would mess up the cap. So what I would say is this. Yes, I could see it happening, but if he was to not go to the Browns, I've seen a lot of people saying maybe the Chiefs could go after him, but if anything, I think he'll end up just staying in Tennessee. It's either going to be the Browns or he's going to stay in Tennessee. Next up, we got Hunter Renfrow from the Raiders. When I look at Hunter Renfrow, he's a really underrated receiver. He's got not a lot of routes in his route tree. He can run almost every single route. He's very shifty with his routes. He's like an underrated Cooper Kupp, if that kind of makes sense. I believe Hunter Renfrow also recently got a contract. I'm pretty sure the Browns cannot fit that contract into their cap, though. Correction, I think he's actually going into next season is his last year of the contract, and it's about $11 million, so not that bad. The thing with the two names that I've already recently talked about, DeAndre Hopkins, if it came to the Browns trying to trade for him, I've seen a lot of people saying that, like, you're going to be able to get some of these receivers, and this is something that I'm trying to understand. There's sometimes when you look at trade candidates that's like, this guy, you think he's going to be automatic, like, you have to give a minimum, a first-round pick for him, and then they go for, like, a fourth-round pick. I have seen some people talking about other teams that possibly could trade for DeAndre Hopkins, and they're saying maybe like a second or third-round pick. So if the Browns could literally just give up a third-round pick and go get DeAndre Hopkins, mind blown, please, Andrew Berry, pick up the phone. And when it comes to Hunter Renfrow, I don't really think the Browns are going to really go after a guy like him, because if he's more of a route runner type receiver, they already have somebody in like that in Amari Cooper, though. Next up, the big one, Davante Adams. This is the one that I've seen people saying, maybe not even a first-round pick, probably a second-round pick. I'm going to go and shut this one down for him coming to the Browns, because I think, if anything, he's probably going to end up just staying in Vegas. If he gets traded, it's going to be a team that's desperately trying to go for the run at Super Bowl. The Chiefs maybe will pick up the phone, but I don't think they're really interested in that kind of receiver. Mahomes seems like he can make any receiver work. So if they want to go overkill, they could go after him. I don't think it's going to be the Browns that get Davante Adams. I think maybe the Bills could be a good candidate. So either the Bills or he'll just stay in Vegas. And then same thing with Hunter Renfrow. I think he's probably going to end up just staying in Vegas. Next up, this name kind of has started circulating a little bit here in the past few days. Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know how accurate and how truthful this is, but I just saw it on a couple of articles and I was like, how accurate is this? All it really kind of goes into is just talking about how Odell and the front office people from the Cleveland Browns, they're still on good terms. They still talk. They're still, I mean, even the teammates or some of the players on the Browns, they still talk with Odell. They're still good with him. I think right now, but Odell, he's kind of already doing his thing in Baltimore. He's having a good time over there. I just don't see that trade happening because, think of it this way. Why would the Baltimore Ravens trade I wouldn't say top 10 receiver, but maybe you could say top 15 receiver, top 20-ish, to a division rival? Why would you do that? It just wouldn't make sense. I don't see the Browns getting him. He'll probably just end up staying with Baltimore this season. And then the last candidate, Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, I just don't think I really want him on the Browns because he plays good in flashes for the Broncos. It just feels like at times it's like sometimes he gets open and you don't get the ball. And then times where he's like getting the ball forced to him and he's trying to make these spectacular catches, but he's always dropping them. So far this year, he's got about 25 catches, 286 yards, no touchdown. The past few seasons he's been in the NFL, his first year, his rookie year, average year. His second year, nothing crazy. His third year last year, he did better. 67 catches, about almost 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. He did better, but it just seems like he's like one of those just more underrated receivers. Could he, if he had a new setting, a new scenery around him, new quarterback, new other receivers kind of help him get open, maybe he could do better. I just don't really see it for the being in the Browns. When it comes to him being traded, I don't really know if there's a team out there that desperately would want him. Maybe he'll just stay in Denver. And then real quick, this is not a candidate for the Browns going and getting. This is something that I've seen people talking about, a player on the Browns that we should trade away. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I've seen people saying that he is a trade candidate that we could trade away. And another player, Greg Newsome. Those two names, the cornerback Greg Newsome and the receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones, people are saying that those two candidates are like, when it comes to a trade where we're going after like a high value target, if it comes down to like a second round pick and one of them in exchange for that other player, like I don't see why those two, it's like we view them as really good players, but we view them as they're really good, but they're not super good to where it's like if we had to trade them away, it's not a big deal. I feel like Greg Newsome, with the way he's playing in this defense this year, he shouldn't even be touchable. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think he's going to do really well this year. You just got to give him time. Let's talk offensive line. Jed Wills. I've said it many times on here, on TikTok, everywhere else. I feel like he needs to go. Jed Wills has not been playing good. He's so up and down. He's like a roller coaster. And one of the names that people have talked about for the Browns possibly going after is Garrett Bowles, the offensive tackle for the Denver Broncos. It seems like Garrett Bowles is a very good offensive lineman. And there was actually an interview, I think it's like week 2 or week 3 of the season, where he is literally just sitting there like hunched over and he's crying basically because he loses so much in Denver. And you can tell the guy just wants to win. He puts his heart out there. He's playing good. And he's just like, I just want to win. I want to feel like I'm doing something. When it comes to Garrett Bowles, if the Browns wanted to trade for him, they could. He's got $2 million guaranteed on this year's salary, which I'm pretty sure the Broncos have already paid. And then next year, there's no money guaranteed on that salary. So if they wanted to trade for him, it could be a very team-friendly deal. And then the fact that you'd be getting rid of Jed Wills and then bringing in somebody that's been proven experience of going out there and holding down the left side of the offensive line whenever, if it means putting him on an island, sending him out there, he can hold it down. Because we've seen plenty of times where we tried to give Jed Wills that opportunity and he has fucked it up. Let's talk some D-line real quick. We got two names that have kind of come up. Danielle Hunter from the Vikings, he's in the last year of his contract with the Vikings. I think if we were to trade for him, it would be good for this year, but obviously I don't think we'd be able to sign him back next year. You got guys like Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith we've already traded for. Danielle Hunter is in the same boat as what Zadarius Smith is right now. He's going to do really well this year, and then next year it's going to come down to contract time. And I think the Browns, in this season alone, they see their window of opportunity of trying to go get to the playoffs and then see what they can do from there. Maybe go take a run at the Super Bowl. It's this year, because next year a lot of contracts are going to be due. You can only restructure contracts forever or for so long, and it's gonna come time. So when it comes to Danielle Hunter, I would say he'd be a great fit in this defense. It would just be too much work for Andrew Berry to figure out all the contracts, and I don't think he wants the stress. And then the other name, Chase Young for the Washington Commanders, he as well, he's gonna be due a big contract. He's gonna be wanting some big money after the season. I think he's in the last year of his contract right now because the Washington did not pick up his 5th-year option. So I don't really see that one working either. Those two players, if they were to be traded from their respective franchises, they're going to be traded to a team that's ready to do like a sign and trade tour, or sign and trade to where they can trade them over to this team. And then the second you get traded there, hey, look, here's your contract. Let's sign now. 2 more positions I want to talk about. Running back. Derrick Henry already knows that he's probably not going to be with the Titans anymore. He's ready to go. Derrick Henry's name has popped up in a lot of different teams. The Chiefs, the Bills especially, the Ravens. Oh my God, if he went to the Ravens, that'd be nasty. But when it comes to the Browns, we're looking at it like this. No, we are not replacing Nick Chubb in any way. Derrick Henry is in the last year of his contract right now. So if we were to go get him, it'd be a rental. It would just be a rental. Derrick Henry puts out just about, if not better, sometimes better production than Nick Chubb does. And with this offensive line that we have and the way he likes to run the ball angry, if we can get him in this offense and he can be running the ball for us, oh my God. Because clearly we can see in Tennessee that offensive line is just not what it used to be back in like 2019, 2020. They're just not what they used to be. They can't get holes open. He's doing everything himself. And with that, he's getting maybe max 60 yards rushing a game. Now, if the Browns were to trade for him, some of the technically like GMs on TV, they've been kind of giving out like their mock trades for what could be used to trade for Derrick Henry. And most of the time, it's been like a 2024 3rd-round pick and a 2025, sometimes even 5th-round pick to go get Derrick Henry. I'll talk about that more in a second, but it's a trade I like to see. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is quarterbacks. As you know, Deshaun Watson is dealing with this injury. We don't know what really is going on. From what I've heard, he's going to be down probably against the Seahawks and then most likely against the Cardinals, because I think we can beat the Cardinals. Whether it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, PJ Walker, or God knows who, I think we could beat the Cardinals. But right now with Deshaun Watson being out, we've seen what Dorian Thompson-Robinson is against the Ravens. My eyes still need bleach to make me unsee that. And then PJ Walker, he's holding it down. He's doing some right things, but he's not really doing anything crazy. And he's trying his best to not fuck up the game. He almost did it against the Colts, but we'll give you a break there. So far, I got about 4 names, and I'm pretty much going to go ahead and just cross off 3 of them, and we're going to get to the last one real quick. First up, Kirk Cousins. Hell no. He's got like a $30 million cap hit. Fuck that. I don't think the Browns even want that to deal with that stress. Carson Wentz has been talked about, but he is just too turnover happy. If we wanted to throw turnovers or throw interceptions, we would just stick with PJ Walker. A name that nobody's really talking about, but I kind of decided to add it in there. How about Teddy Bridgewater? That could be an interesting one. And then the last one is Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett did really well with us last year. But here's the thing. Last year, he did really well with us when the defense was not that good. This year, with the way this defense is playing, if Jacoby Brissett can come back in here and play the way he did last year, this team could be legit. Now, I know what some people are going to say, well, last year, Jacoby Brissett also had Nick Chubb. He was able to, at times when he was getting stressful for him, he could hand the ball off to Chubb, and Chubb did the work. Now you don't have Nick Chubb. I get that. But so far, even when Nick Chubb's not been out there, have you heard of the guys named like Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, even hell, Pierre Strong? I never heard of him before, but here lately, he's a pretty good back. So if I was the Browns, I'd be picking up the phone calling Washington about Jacoby Brissett. And it's a smart move because he already knows the Browns system. It's not like he's going to have to come in and like learn a new system. He knows it already. So let's kind of wrap it up with this. Out of all these names, what names would I say, yes, we need to go trade for them, and what would we have to give up? Out of all the receivers, I would say it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. I would say probably maybe try to go after. And then if we did go after him, 2 things need to happen. One, the trade is going to have to be, I would hope it's like a 3rd round pick maybe this year in the upcoming 2024 draft. And then maybe we have to give up like a 2025, maybe 4th round pick in exchange for DeAndre Hopkins, and say they have to throw in a 7th round pick just to kind of equal it out. And then the second thing with DeAndre Hopkins is I would kind of ask him when the trade's kind of in process, before it closes up and it's like, yep, you are officially coming to Cleveland. Let's see if he can kind of dwindle his money down just a little bit, because I think it's like a $15-16 million cap hit. Let's see if he can bring his contract down and see if we can get it down to like $10-11 million. The next name I would like to see the Browns possibly try to go after, Derrick Henry. Like I said, it'd be a rental. We don't have to keep Derrick Henry after the season. It'll be more or less of, let's keep him this year, see how far we go. If we go to the playoffs, cool. If we go to the Super Bowl, cool. If we win a Super Bowl, awesome. And then next year, if Derrick Henry doesn't want to stay in Cleveland, he don't have to. If we decided that we want to try to sign him and Chubb back, we can try. It's not going to happen. But I ultimately feel like if after the season, we wouldn't want to sign him back because we're going to be worrying about trying to get Chubb back. But I think if the Cleveland Browns were to go after him, I've heard rumors as well. 2nd round pick at maybe. I don't think he's going to be nowhere near a 1st round pick. I think it's kind of start coming down to a 2nd round pick or a 4th and a 6th maybe. Somewhere in there, or like I think it's like a 3rd and a 4th, or just a 2nd. I don't know about you, but if the Titans were to be offering up Derrick Henry and Andrew Berry was to call up the Titans GM and he was like, you want Derrick Henry? And Andrew Berry was like, yeah, what do you want for him? And the Titans GM was like, give me a 2nd round pick. Yeah, just a 2nd round pick and he's all yours. If Andrew Berry doesn't immediately scream back and say, deal, Andrew Berry, what are you doing? And then the last name that I think the Browns really need to take a look into, we just talked about Jacoby Brissett. And when it comes to Jacoby Brissett, I seriously feel like we can get him for like a 7th round pick. Legit. Not trying to be mean to Jacoby, but I feel like we could literally get him for whether it's a 2024 7th round pick or a 2025 6th round pick, something like that. And if that's like the cheap end of what this would take to get him, if literally we called up Washington and they were like, give us a 2025 6th round pick and he's all yours. And for some reason, Andrew Berry would be like, that's a little much. I'd be like, Andrew Berry, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you trying to trade? Just the rust off the back of your car for him? No, if you want him and you think he's a really good player, why wouldn't you just give a trash pick for him? But after reviewing all these players, like I said, Derrick Henry, Jacoby Brissett, and DeAndre Hopkins, those are the 3 names I'd like to see Cleveland go after. Do I think, before anybody asks, I don't think Cleveland's going to be sellers in this trade. I really don't. I do not think they'll be sellers. If they are, I'm going to be scared to see who they trade away. If anybody, I think, like I said, Jed Wills maybe could be moving. And then the other name, I forgot, Garrett Bowles from the Broncos. I think that'll be more of like a trade swap. If they can do something like that, if the Browns can maybe do like Jed Wills and like a 5th round pick in exchange for Garrett Bowles, I'd be very happy with that. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Hope Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure you do drop a like. If you stayed to watch the entire today's video, thank you very much. And you kind of had a different opinion on kind of all the trade targets that you think. I think the Browns might go after. If you think there was a different name on here that maybe I didn't list, and you want to leave it down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. Maybe if you want to kind of cover any of these trades that I talk about, you think it's a trash trade, bad trade, good trade, who you think the Browns should maybe go and trade for, like I said, leave it down in the comment section down below. If you wanted to watch the entire today's video and you are enjoying the content that I do post here, and you're a fan of the content that I am posting, and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post of a new video here on the channel. But without further ado, this has been Donald Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.